Welcome to another episode of Kings Connect, at our offseason show where we meet the signings for the Camoka Kings in this upcoming 2024-2025 season. My name is Dylan Baker. In our last episode, we talked to Everett Force, a 2007-born forward who is driven to become one of the best contributors on this Camoka Kings team after a strong U18 year last year with the Kitchener Junior Rangers. Today, we talk to another intriguing player as Daymond Kindree joins the show. Daymond is a 2006-born defenseman who spent last season with the London Junior Knights. Daymond, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. We're glad to have you on the show today. Let's dive right into things. You've signed with the Camoka Kings for the upcoming season. How did you come to that decision?
Well, I've always just wanted to get to the next level of hockey. I've always wanted to do that ever since I started playing hockey. Either it's going from single A to double A or double A to triple A. And now with my minor season finishing up, junior B is pretty much the perfect spot for me. And another big factor with signing with the Camoka Kings is that I really wanted to play high school football next year. And the Camoka Kings have agreed to allow me to do that. So that was another big factor that decided with me on signing with Camoka.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in a Kings uniform next year. Let's talk a little bit about minor hockey as you mentioned it. As you wrap up your minor hockey days, what memories do you take away from your time with the Junior Knights and Canucks organizations?
One big memory that stands out is obviously going to the OHL Cup in my U16 year. That was probably the biggest tournament I've been in, and it was a lot of fun with all my teammates and coaches. But overall, what means the most to me that I'll take away from my minor hockey career is the friendships and the fantastic people I've been able to meet across all teams that I played on.
Glad you had so many good memories coming out of minor hockey. I want to discuss last season for you because in your U16 year, you had 8 points, a solid number, only played 7 games in 22-23. And then in 2023-2024, you doubled your U16 production and put up 16 points over that season. Why do you think you were able to find another dimension offensively last year?
Well, some of the points come with ice time, and being the older age in a U18 team, your coach depends or tends to rely on the guys who are older a little bit more for ice time, like first power play and whatnot. But in my opinion, which allowed me to translate from my U16 year to such a successful offensive or point season is just staying consistent with like training on and off the ice, and especially like all season training or off season training.
That consistency is key if you want to be a successful hockey player. Now, last year you had the chance to be an AP with the London Nationals. You had an assist in 2 regular season games, played 3 playoff games as well, 2 of which came against the Camoka Kings in that first round series between London and Camoka. Do you feel that time, that little experience that you have in Junior B helps prepare you a little bit better for this year?
Yes, definitely those games help me. In my opinion, a big thing about coming up into a higher league is being able to adapt to a higher mental and physical level of play. And those 5 games definitely, in my opinion, would help me prepare for this league.
It's a different animal, right? Tackling the GOJHL versus tackling minor hockey.
Yeah,
Now, I want to bring up your
yeah.
brother Owen, who played in this league not long ago with the Strathroy Rockets. What kind of an asset has he been? Because he's got some experience in junior hockey. How has he kind of helped you out as you prepare for this season?
Yeah, and this question kind of links back to the one before about help getting me prepared for my season. Just watching him over the years play at a higher level can help me, or like watching adapt to a higher pace. And he's also helped me motivate me, making me want to play at a higher level, just kind of like brotherly competition.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So you mentioned football earlier, that you want to play high school football next year. As I understand it, you're a pretty talented football player. So talk to me a little bit about the role that football plays in your life.
Yeah, so my first ever football season was grade 11 high school. And ever since there, I've loved everything about that came with the team or came with the game of football. The relationships you build along with your teammates and your coaches is basically unexplainable. And it's a sport that truly brings people closer together. As much as it's tied to pretty vicious headbutts and acts of just wanting to overthrow your opponent, but it's a game that can truly bring people together. And I can't wait to go back for grade 13 and have the ability to play on the football team and do something great.
Well, I'm sure that your team's looking forward to having you back once again next year. What have you been doing throughout the offseason to get yourself prepared for next season?
Well, the fun thing about playing a lot of sports is that there really is no off season for me. But for training for hockey, I mean, I do have a gym membership that helps me with all my sports and building muscle. But I've been on the ice with TPH and a couple of skates with Brian McAllister.
Happy to hear that you're getting ready for next season. Is there a player that you really enjoy watching play or that you model your game after?
Not really. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of any player that I would model my game after. However, like players that play in such a high level, like the NHL, they're always a reason why they're there. They're incredible players, and I would always model, or it would just always be great to, I guess, have the skill of someone playing in the NHL. But modeling my game after, no, I can't really think of anyone. It's always fun to watch high level defensemen and how the roles nowadays are kind of shifting, and you can see a lot more offensive defensemen instead of like offense or defensemen who are just really big and can lay hits.
Yeah, it's the prototypical defenseman has certainly shifted over the last number of years in the National Hockey League to a two-way defenseman being the coveted asset by a lot of these teams. Last question for you, Daymond, before I let you go. What are you most looking forward to next season playing in Komoka?
Um, I mean, really just seeing what being on a junior B team instead of a being for a junior B team is like. I can't wait to have better competition and be in a more physically and mentally demanding league. I just also just meeting new people, and the coaches are, I've already met them. They seem pretty great. And, I can't wait to win. I want to win.
Well, fantastic, Daymond. Thank you so much for doing this, and looking forward to seeing you out on the ice next season.
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, that was Daymond Kindree. A huge thank you to Daymond for joining the show today. A really interesting guy, somebody who thinks the game very well, really notices the patterns and trends in defensemen who are making it big in the National Hockey League, and understands what it takes in terms of preparation to be successful both on the ice and on the football field, because that's one of his passions as well. A huge thank you to Daymond for joining the show today. We've got lots of great interviews coming up, so stay tuned on our Komoka Kings social media to see more of those. This has been the second episode of Kings Connected, and we'll talk to you again very soon.